This is the Retro Inc. podcast. Welcome back. It's that time again for Retro Inc. podcast with myself, Adam, and my co-hosts, Jeremy and Andy. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
It's that
Hello
time
there.
again. Hello there.
That was a nice
It's
little
that time
introduction.
again. It's a nice week's worth of content we've got for you this week. And how's your week been? And what you've been watching? What you've been up to? Starting with you, Jeremy. What style of movies?
I don't have the means to watch loads of movies anymore because the site I was using, they stopped totally. So I'm just having to watch what's on Netflix. But luckily, I have watched Kingdom this week on Netflix, which is amazing.
Isn't it?
Have you watched it as well?
I have, yeah. Loved it.
Oh, what
Scared
amazing.
the bejeebies out of me in a couple of places. Really did. But you've got a heart of stone. You can handle that kind of stuff.
I just don't have a heart. I'm like a golem.
That's right.
I think I tend to look like one. But yeah, Kingdom was just incredible. It's a Korean running zombie thing. I like running zombies if they're Korean, I have to say. And sorry, there's subtitles in it as well. But it's just beautiful to look at and really
It's gorgeous.
brutal.
Yeah, gorgeous, like Andy. Andy, I think. Do you know what, mate? I reckon you'd really get into this. It's really good. It's historical with a twist.
Yeah, but when the zombies go, does it come up in subtitles with that?
They don't do that. They make much worse noises than that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
It's really brutal. It's possibly the most brutal zombie thing I've ever seen.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix. Yeah.
Was it a film?
No, it's
series film?
Series. But I binged it in one go. I just sat there, put the first one, and I was like, oh my word.
Yeah.
And then when it finished, I was like, oh, can't finish there.
No.
But it is stunning to look at. And the culture of it it's quite informative as well.
It very much
learn
is.
a lot about, and some lovely hats. There's a lot of lovely hats in it.
There's a lot of beautiful costumes and design in there. Yeah, you'd like it, mate. I think you should check it out. Anything else you've been looking at?
I've watched House today. That was quite fun. Not the TV show, but the movie, which I really enjoy.
I don't know this film.
And last night you watched something
really good.
with Fred, didn't you? What did you watch with Freddie last night?
Last night I watched Expendables 2.
Any good?
Oh, I love Expendables 2.
Silly fun, isn't it?
Silly fun.
Yeah. Although Freddie picked up on look, Freddie's nearly 10 and he's watching Expendables 2. But he picked up on a lot of the Easter eggs. He loves to spot an Easter egg in a movie. He's like, oh, this is that and this is that. But when Chuck Norris came on, I'd say, Chuck Norris. He's like, oh, I know Chuck Norris. But whenever, who's Dolph Lundgren, I had to explain who these people were. But yeah, he absolutely loved it. Great fun. Just silly, over the top violence, which is it was just like watching someone playing Call of Duty. It's just silly violence. And,
mindless. You can switch off while you're watching it, can't you? That sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I've to be fair, Jean-Claude Van Damme in that is one of the best things he's been in. He's brilliant. I love him as a bad guy.
Yeah, Statham's good in those movies as well.
Yeah, he is.
And it's got Michael for Batman in it as well. It's got Adkins as one of the bad guys.
Yeah. There was a really great interview on Collider this week with Jean-Claude. Very insightful, really worth checking out. So check that out on YouTube. Andy, yourself?
Well, I watched. Yeah, sorry. You know what? Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I watched Scooby-Doo.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that film. A lot of people give that film a bad rap, but I think that's brilliant.
It's great
Great
fun.
casting. It is great
Yeah.
fun. It's colourful, and I think it captures the essence of what was needed to do a Scooby-Doo reboot in live action, because it is self-deprecating and in such a perfect way. And even the fart jokes land in that movie because
I
they
think
fit.
the actor who plays Shaggy has got him
Matthew
off.
Lillard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
him off.
he is
See.
great in that, mate. And I
He
was
is.
actually looking at it yesterday. There's a couple of awkward moments where he's obviously acting alone and Scooby's not really there. But it's more when they're just walking through things and that, and he's next to him, or he's supposed to give him a look. It doesn't sort of match up. That was early CGI, wasn't it? And to do the whole movie like that, it still looks pretty good now because it's just colourful. It doesn't have to look photorealistic. Um,
And one of your favourite girls from TV, who plays Daphne.
yeah, and also one of my second favourite girls is Isla Fisher is in that film, so it's a
Me too.
win-win for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think that film is just bloody good fun as well, really.
When did that come out?
2002.
And was there a follow up? There was a follow up to that,
There
wasn't there?
was there was a sequel that wasn't as good, and then there's a couple of other live action straight to DVD unnecessary sequels, Jeremy, um, that didn't land the way they should have done. But yeah, I watched that. I also watched Rogue One again because 4K TV and it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wasn't really watching it. It was just there in the background, visually looking great, like a screensaver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Any
watched.
scenes that always stand out for you?
It's always Edu, mate. Is it Edu where at the start with Mads and his wife? They're on the.
Mm-hmm.
That looks gorgeous. Those sweeping vistas when those ships are coming over. Some of the shots as well with the Death Star when it first comes out just look stunning.
Yeah.
4K.
You get a real sense of scale as well when those Star Destroyers are flying so close to it and seeing the scale of how big the Death Star is. But do you ever sort of notice on repeat viewings anything that you think, oh, I didn't see that before?
No, because like I say, I wasn't really watching it. Again, it's one of those that was in the background. I did notice myself looking up more when Riz Ahmed was on.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy's just left. I'm hoping he'll pop back in. He caught my eye in that film anyway. When I first started watching it, I thought he was one of the standouts in that movie. And then when I watched Venom the other night, I said to you, didn't I, last week, we were talking about it and how he was great in that. It showed his acting chops. And then watching this back, I'm really enjoying seeing Riz Ahmed in things. He's going to be one of those to watch for me, I think. And I've also been watching, I've got into, because after I finished Plebs, there's been a big pleb-shaped hole in my chill out time in the evening. And Friday Night Dinner has filled that this week.
Does it?
And I don't know if you've seen any of it.
No, I haven't. No,
it's just
I do know it though.
Quaint little British comedy. It's a Jewish family, and every Friday night they get together. The two boys go round to mum and dad's and have dinner. And every episode is centered around that dinner. And it's just quaint. It's one of those, like I say, you can just put it on and enjoy it. I think we've lost Jeremy.
Yes, for a little bit. Now, obviously, the last episode we were talking a little bit about gaming, and you're back on the retro gaming area now, aren't you? You're not getting into anything on your PS. So, yeah, I mean, anything else you've been having a look at or potentially looking at?
I picked up today a lovely little deal. I did mention to you beforehand, but just a heads up to anyone if they've got an Asda near them, I managed to get 2 of the Solo Funko Pops for £2.50 each.
That's a bargain, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Yeah. Well, I walked past the shelf and I saw that little yellow sticker and I thought, oh, hello. And I went and looked. It's £2.50 Rogue One Funko Pops. And they only had a selection, like I said, about 8 Funkos left on the shelf. But they were mostly Rey and Kylo from The Force Awakens. I think Jeremy's having problems by the looks of that message. But I picked them up. I thought I'll give them a try, and they scanned at 250. So really happy with that.
That's great.
Yeah, nice two little to my collection. Hello, Jeremy. He's back.
Tesco's UK are doing a 2-for-1 deal, aren't they? On their £4, and which is a brilliant
You
deal.
said
But obviously,
that.
what they're trying to do is just clear a lot of back stock that they have. So, yeah, if you're into your Funko Pops, go to your local Asda and check out the larger Tesco stores for
Yeah.
much bigger stock for Funkos. That's a good
Well,
pickup, mate.
I can't wait because I have to pop into Asda on my way to work in the morning. So there's a different one that I go to. So I'm gonna quickly have a peruse of their shelves when I first get there. See what
Yeah.
they've got. Yeah.
Well, I'm on this little kind of binge at the moment, still picking up any kind of vintage Star Wars figures, some beaters to fill some vehicles. But I've got this real thing. I think maybe it's to do with Sanjay on the Nerd Room, but I love steelbooks, and I've been getting rid of a lot of DVDs and changing them for Blu-rays. But especially if I can find them on steelbook, I like them. They're fantastic. Uh, I've been watching Friends. I'm starting from the very beginning again, and then just keeping those downloaded onto my phone so I can watch them when I get any sort of spare moments, because they just feel some wonderful time with great humor, and those characters are just wonderful. So I've just finished series 1 of Friends. Night Flyers on Netflix is great, really worth checking that out. Very dark sci-fi. It's rather wicked. Space Dealers, which is a kind of reality show. It's three people that basically deal in space junk, really, and they go to auctions and they're buying and selling. It's probably something that you might have seen on the History Channel or the Discovery Channel, which is really great fun. I think there's only 6 episodes of that, but it's rather good. Reincarnated, the Snoop Dogg documentary. I've watched this before, and a couple of times actually, I think. And I just fancy watching.
He is a deep and complex man, isn't he, Jeremy?
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg or Adam?
Adam.
yeah.
There's just so many. It's like you pull a thread and it just unravels.
There we go. Yeah. Well, I did go to a party last week. I did mention something to you guys, but yeah, I watched it again. I just fancied watching a little bit of that. That was quite mindless and wonderful. But I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's really put me on a kind of Western tip. So
I understand you're playing it, but you don't have to be sitting there wearing your assless chaps and your cowboy hat.
Oh no, I like him like that.
Well, I was wearing my Stormtrooper bucket earlier, but you missed that. So
Oh, I saw through the window.
if you can recommend some good westerns other than Clint Eastwood movies, I would really like to watch something
Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah, seen that. That ain't what I'm looking for.
Have you ever seen High Plains Drifter?
No.
Mate, do yourself a favour. That is one of my favourite Clint Eastwood films. That's absolutely amazing.
I do like The Unforgiven. I do like Pal Rider.
High Plains Drifter is something very different.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very high concept for the time that came out. Give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane,
Yeah,
give Shane a go.
I am looking for some good westerns that.
Yeah, Shane's a good one.
Ian McShane.
And Star Trek Discovery, which comes out every Friday, getting back into this new series 2, which is rather good.
But I did watch something else. Sorry, that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't it was Doctor Strange.
Oh,
and me and my daughter last night, my wife went out, and me and my daughter, she does this thing where she thinks that I'm letting her watch a film that she shouldn't really be watching. Right? So she gets all excited, and I get to watch what I want to watch. So really, see, I played the game now. But yeah, she wanted to watch Doctor Strange, so I skipped past all the explicitly violent bits and the bits that I didn't think she'd like, because she's a bit of a scaredy cat, my daughter. So, but we got to all the trippy astral plane stuff and all of that, and yeah, she was loving it. She was just sat there like, whoa. So yeah, that was cool. It's a good film as well.
Well, on that, oh, sorry.
No, I remember that. I've watched a lot of Graham Hancock stuff on YouTube, which I've enjoyed, about ancient history and stuff. But I did watch Attack of the Adult Babies, one of my horror movie things that I've recorded.
Attack of Adult Babies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put time code in here to cut him because he's just weird.
You know, it was going so well, and then you drop
and
something like that. You know.
and it was weird. I know it's
Yeah.
hard to imagine it was weird,
How
but it
long do you
wasn't as
think it'll
bad
be
as.
before we get Attack of the Vegan Vampires?
That'd be brilliant. What do they suck on carrot juice?
They just they'll die. They'll
Well,
kill
we can't. We
themselves.
have had a vegetarian zombie. Don't forget in the remake of
Dawn of the
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a vegetarian zombie in there.
Is there?
Bub. It's the
Mhm.
remake of Bub. Um,
I didn't. I can't imagine he lasted very long. Unless
no, he's one of the
lot,
heroes.
he ate a lot of blood oranges, perhaps.
He chased around the Quorn animals before
Yeah.
they were turned into Quorn meat.
He was eating mushroom people.
That's a good
So he was.
crossover there.
There's a crossover there.
Well, should we get into a little bit of news from this week? Andy, do you want to start first, or shall I start
Well,
first?
I've got news headlines. I haven't got facts, so we're going to quickly skip through my two. But Michonne from Walking Dead is leaving, which I'm not surprised. I mean, this thing has been ever decreasing circles of a TV show since around season 3, and it's losing its hype and its hype. You know, it's hype, like Supernatural, for instance. It's been going so long now, 14 years. Supernatural's been going longer than the iPhone. Like, you know what I mean? And it hasn't got that hype anymore. It used to be a big pop culture thing. Now it sits there in the mainstream and it has its viewers, and that's what's there. You know, things like CSI do it, don't they? They're just on, or were until recently. But Michonne leaving doesn't surprise me. She's just had that stint in Black Panther. I'm assuming there's probably going to be more on the horizon in the MCU for her, maybe.
Mm.
Who knows? Films like that will propel her to a status that is beyond Walking Dead now. She'd probably be getting more. You know, Hollywood's becoming more diverse recently as well. So there's more room for black actresses like herself, which is great. And I'm hoping that she'll be able to go into the mainstream from there. And that's what this move is. Um, I don't know. You two don't watch it anymore, do you?
No,
Walking
I
Dead?
gave up after about series 3, I think.
I still enjoy it, but it's not what it was.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. These stars now that have become stars from it are going to move on, and it's going to become a serial TV show that has cameos from stars. I reckon.
Again, it's harken back to Game of Thrones again. It doesn't have that I have to watch it this week thing. It's like I'll wait for the series and then I'll binge it.
Yeah.
Whereas I couldn't do that with Game of Thrones. I have to, it's one of the things you have to watch.
But that's event
Whereas,
TV, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
and
event TV.
but Walking Dead used to be event TV. It used to be the big, I just see the Walking Dead, and it's one of them water cooler things where everyone's standing around talking about
But
it.
they run their
It's not
course.
anymore.
They run their course and they go too far, and that's my point with things like Supernatural. I used to know people that would talk to me about that weekly, and I don't even think half of them watch it anymore because these things go on too long. In other news, Nintendo have announced that they have a load of unannounced games for this year, which is good. This is obviously for the Switch, but originally they had. I mean, I can't recall them off the top of my head because there was nothing of importance to me. But I have a Switch, and I was looking at this year's release games a couple of weeks ago, and there was nothing that jumped out to me that cried me. It was very. I'm not very Japanese game orientated and Nintendo game orientated generally. The reason I got a Switch was because of games like Skyrim and that were now imported to the handheld device, and I could play these AAA PlayStation and Xbox style titles on a Switch. So there's nothing, but this Nintendo having unannounced games for this year is a good bit of news because I think at E3 we're gonna get maybe a Fallout 3 remaster for the Switch or something, which is my bet for something like this, which I'm hoping for because if they've done Skyrim, there's no reason why they couldn't do Fallout.
Diablo, I'd recommend for you though, if you want to.
Yes.
I think you'd thoroughly enjoy that, man.
Yeah, I loved the Diablo games. They to me are very complex. I don't know if you two play idle clickers on phones.
No.
So I have this weird addiction to a lot of them where you build up your money income and you buy new tiers, and then it exponentially gets bigger and bigger until you can unlock this and afford that, and you have to return to the game to collect money and to build it up. And to me, that is a mobile phone version of games like Diablo, because that is just grinding, and I really enjoy it. You know, you enter these dungeons, you kill, level up your armor, level up your weapons, and go back in and do it all again. And that's perfect in handheld form, man. That's what those sort of games need to be on, because you can lay in bed, you can sit on the train, you can have 5 minute break, and you can just go in there, do a bit, and then come out again. So I'm well into that.
Red Dead Redemption 2 for me is more about the open roaming. I've got into the story mode, but to be honest, just to just get on a horse and ride about and encounter other gamers online, and you can kill some animals and skin them and use their meat, and you cook and you can keep your camp and all that kind of thing. But the actual aesthetics of the game are
Stunning,
absolutely
isn't it?
magical and beautiful. Yeah, and
It is
I
gorgeous.
find myself riding my horse and just stopping and having a look 360 look round and thinking, oh my god, look, there's butterflies and there's insects and birds and rabbits running around. It's a stunning game. I absolutely very, very
But I
immersive.
can't be trusted with these games. I literally played it for an hour, and the first thing I did was jumped on a horse, run, found someone, shot them in the face, tied them up to the back of me, to the horse, and I dragged them along for
That's what a lot
like
of people
five
do.
minutes.
They do
Yeah.
a lot of that. There's a lot
And
of that.
I can't be trusted. I can't play these games correctly. I can't be the good guy. Just go
I'm not
around
sure that
murdering
that's
everyone.
not playing it correctly. That's how you should play these games. Just
Well, it's
murder,
based,
murder
it's
random
simple.
people and animals, and just that kind of stuff.
That's how the West was, I think.
If it
Yeah.
moved, I shot it. That's basically what I did in that hour. A tree moved, I shot it.
Oh yeah, that's the way it should be.
Well,
Good.
if we're going on a shooting, The Mandalorian is shooting and taking place currently, and Taika Waititi is one of the directors working on the Disney Plus upcoming streaming series, The Mandalorian, set in the world of Star Wars bounty hunters. And he's confirmed that this Star Wars series would match the tone of the original trilogy. Well, that's got to be good news for us fans. And that required some adaptation from the comic director Thor Ragnarok and What We Do in the Shadows. But it was having to fall in line. And the original trilogy lives, in the hearts of us fans. And we just hope that if it's going to be in the same tone, that it's going to have, what do you think, that resembles the original trilogy?
Star Wars. But joking aside, I think the Star Wars. We've seen that teaser shot we had already, and it looked very Star Wars. You can't pinpoint that, but we all know what I mean by that. The armor looked good. The background, like the village, the town, wherever he was so reminiscent of obviously Tatooine or somewhere. And I'm just all in for this, because I think this is, watching back Rogue One and watching back Solo recently has made me realise how rich that universe can be. I mean, even Rogue One, I know it's interconnected with the original trilogy, and obviously, especially Star Wars: A New Hope, but it's different characters, different style, different settings, and it works. It is Star Wars because of the aesthetic of it, because of the way they design the costumes, because of the way it all fit in with that original series look. And that's what they need to do for this, and that's what I think they're going to do for this show, mate.
Well, I think it's really interesting, isn't it? Is what does tone mean when someone is saying it has that aesthetic, and I think for him, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get the tone right, the dialogue, and stuff like that, basically. And this is really good news for fans that have been worried that this TV series could water down the movies, although nothing could be further from the original tone from the three prequels. Dave Filoni is involved, and he managed consistency with his animated Star Wars shows, of course. Boba Fett's legacy. I would like to see, a little bit of some kind of some kind of Boba Fett in this, if that's entirely possible. But I just think this is getting more and more exciting. Jeremy, what do you think? Do you think it probably will indulge when it comes out?
I think what they mean by the tone of the originals is not being as green screen reliant as the prequels. I don't think people hate the prequels as much as they once did. I think they're okay these days. Everyone even loves Hayden and all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of think that they're going to go more with practical stuff.
Yeah, real scenes, real sets, and real locations.
Yeah. Maybe some 70s sideburns in there as well. You never know.
Oh, we hope so.
They could be making a comeback, a bit of a mullet. I'd be happy with a mullet if the Mandalorian's got a mullet. I'd be really happy with that. But remember,
Take his helmet off and there's a mullet there.
Boba Fett wasn't a Mandalorian after all, so we might be thinking about first live action Mandalorian.
You don't think they could be filming any of it in that Galaxy's Edge at all, do you? Using some of that maybe as set.
Oh, who knows?
Well, that'd be cheeky, wouldn't it?
You never know, because this planet that they're is it Batu they're talking about, where Galaxy's Edge is actually set. It's supposed to be, it's rumored to make an appearance in the new episode 9.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Howard
Maybe
is also, I think, involved in this as well. Isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
So maybe there's a few props and what have you left from Solo that perhaps is being used, and locations and set, perhaps. Let's hope so. But big news, we can now confirm that the official title for the new movie, Terminator, is Dark Fate. James Cameron revealed Dark Fate was the movie's new working title in a recent interview, and Dark Fate will be a sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day with Cameron
self-referential as well.
Yeah, indeed. And Tim Miller directing the film. It will star Linda Hamilton, Mackenzie Davis, and Natalia Rees, Gabrielle Luna, Diego Boneta, and of course Arnold Schwarzenegger. James Cameron directed the first two. And Dark Fate will mark the first Terminator film he's produced since 1991's Terminator 2. With this being a sequel to Judgment Day, it means that the Rise of the Machine, Salvation, and Genesis will all seemingly be erased from the timeline, paving the way for this new story. This comes out on November the 1st, 2019. Jeremy, I know you're a big fan of the Terminator movies. How does that Dark Fate?
It doesn't particularly. I think it sounds very final. I think they're going to put a lid on the Terminator franchise with it. But I think one way or the other they will, whether it's a great movie or it's a dud. I think this will probably be the last one they do. Certainly the last one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, because he's 70 odd.
Yeah, he's pushing now, isn't he?
And although for his age he looks fantastic, obviously, but he looks better than most people. Yeah. But I just kind of
millions
think
of dollars do that.
$1 million in a fairly easy life. But I think it's time to call it a day. I love the Terminator. I saw Terminator 2 at the cinema, and it was breathtaking. But I think it had its day. There was a time and a place. And much as I love Terminator, I think I'm not particularly looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm glad Linda Hamilton's back because she's awesome. But once again, she's not exactly, young these days. So I know it sounds oldest, but there's got to be a point where they can't do the action stuff they could have 25 years ago. And I think they're there now.
But, I think they were there 15 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. I'm hoping it'll be a movie that surprises me and I really enjoy it, because being an Arnold nerd, I'm always pleased to see Arnold on the screen. It's just, I think that he should age gracefully, or at least try.
Well, Terminator Dark Fate will be out, as I say, November the 1st, and it's just one of the many high-profile films arriving this year, including obviously Star Wars Episode 9, Avengers Endgame, The Lion King, and so many more. But one film that I was really excited about when I first heard that a Mangle film was being transferred and was coming was Alita Battle Angel And this movie I saw today with my children, Ruby and Jake. And I saw this incredible movie and it absolutely blew me away. And this is a true must see at the cinema movie. And I highly recommend, guys, you go and see this film. This is a real must see film for anyone who wants to check out stunning filmmaking in cinemas before they run the risk of missing out on the next Avatar style spectacle. It really is just a stunning film. It remains to be seen whether Alita Battle Angel has even a chance of reaching the heights of the success of Avatar, which is very much doubtful now, I think, because I think ratings, those Rotten Tomato people and whatever, it's not doing particularly well. But this cinema today was packed, and I think everybody came out and they're really thoroughly enjoying it. Avatar, this wide world is being introduced into Rodriguez's movie, and hopefully it's going to be successful enough to warrant a sequel. Now, James Cameron has been in another interview with Radio 1, the film critic for Radio 1, and talking about Alita Battle Angel. And he was asked you about sequels, and he said, of course there will be. Regardless, there's going to be a second one and a third one to finish it off. And that, he said, regardless, it's going to happen. Well, with Cameron's money, it's bound to happen. As long as Rodriguez stays in the plan and stays in the mix, I think this will be absolutely awesome. It's just a visually beautiful film. I think it's enchanting. It's exciting. There is just incredible scenes. Now, I know, Andy, you're not a big fan of Ready Player One. Right. But if you just take how it visually looked, if you take how Avatar visually looked and Ghost in the Shell, particularly, you get the idea of how this film looked. Now, the actress who plays her is you just cannot take your eyes off of her eyes. I mean, really, when her tears flowed, you could really feel the emotion in this actress as she was playing this part. I know that was CGI more likely, but honestly, incredible.
Violin music.
Well, as I say, I highly recommend this film. You've got to go and see it. It really is incredible. I know your kids, Jeremy, will absolutely love it. I know Alana will love it because Ruby was not looking forward to going and seeing it at all. I showed her a couple of trailers and she came out of there saying, that was surprising. I didn't expect to enjoy that quite as much. And, she didn't get sort of like, lazy bum-itis where she's sitting in the chair and like, I want to get up and I want to go. She absolutely loved it. So totally recommend it. And let's just hope it does globally very well. I've pre-ordered it on iTunes to buy and I'll definitely get it on Blu-ray because this film deserves to be watched a couple of times. I can't wait to see it again. And that's something that you don't get very often, where you leave the cinema thinking, I want to go and see that film again. But it really does incite that. I highly advise it, mate.
I do.
So,
yeah, I'm up to watching that, definitely.
Yeah, you really should. It's absolutely stunning. So, guys, I've got a little quiz for you before we get into Andy's Room 101. Are you ready to play a little game, a little retro game?
I am, mate. I'm well up. Up for this.
You're going to have 10 questions each. And if you cannot answer that question, you can pass it over to your opponent, who will take the points. First 1 to 10 wins. Best of luck, fellas.
You're keeping score, right? I'm not.
I'm keeping score, of course.
Good. Okay.
Right, as I'm looking at you guys, I'm gonna go from left to right. So, Jeremy, you're gonna get the first question. Are you ready, Jeremy?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay. What is the name of Will Smith's character in Independence Day?
Oh man,
I've got a clue. I haven't got a clue.
Are you gonna pass?
Yep, absolutely. I've got a clue.
Okay, passing that over to Andy. Andy.
Captain Stephen Hillard.
Congratulations.
Boom.
Well done.
Andy,
your question.
Twice, I think.
Which 1997 film stars Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich?
Gross Point Blank. No.
Is that your answer?
Well, it has to be now.
It's incorrect.
Yeah, it is incorrect.
Jeremy, can you answer that?
It's Con Air.
Con Air.
Well done, it's Con
Damn
Air.
it. Yeah.
Jeremy, your question. How many people were killed in the 1996 film Scream? Hint, it's less than 10.
7.
Congratulations, 7 is the correct answer.
Can you name them?
Andy,
1, 2,
your
3,
question.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Andy, your question. What?
Lost you there, mate. No, can't hear you, Adam.
What year was Forrest Gump released?
1994.
That's correct.
It is.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah. Your mic's gone, funny ad.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Who is Kaiser Soze in the film The Usual Suspects?
Kaiser Sose.
Well, it really depends on who you ask, but Kevin Spacey is the one that they
Allude to.
pointed on. Yeah.
Well done.
Verbal.
Indeed. Andy, what year was the song My Heart Will Go On from Titanic released? Let's have a little think here.
97.
Well done. Correct. 1997. Jeremy, your question. Which 90s movie featured the Looney Tunes in its soundtrack?
The Looney Tunes in its soundtrack. What, Space Jam, would it be?
Correct answer. Andy, which 90s movie soundtrack is best-selling soundtrack of all time?
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That's incorrect. Jeremy, which movie was the best-selling soundtrack of all time?
90s movie.
But can I have it back if it gets it wrong? Because I know it.
No, you've got it wrong. 90s movie. Oh, it's Moulin Rouge.
No.
No.
Titanic.
It's The Bodyguard.
Oh.
Selling soundtrack of all time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I suppose singles, because I'm thinking Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves stayed at #1 for most of the 90s.
420 years, didn't it?
Yeah, it's still there now.
Which 90s movie featured the songs My
Who's
Guy?
this for?
This is Jeremy's question.
Okay.
Which 90s movie featured the songs My Guy and I Will Follow Him?
Sister Act?
Correct. Okay, I'm going to give you a quote and you give me the movie it came from and which character actor said it, Andy. There's no crying in baseball.
Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams.
Incorrect. Jeremy?
Then it's the other one. It's the Tom Hanks one, with the girls in it that I can't remember what it's called.
Major League.
That one, Major League. But I can't have it because they just.
No, you can have it. They can have it.
No.
That was a team effort.
Right answer. It's Jimmy Dugan, who played
there you go.
A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own. There you go.
Jeremy, your question. You can't handle the truth.
We know that. You've only got to listen to the Patreon. So.
That will be Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men.
Can you name his character?
No.
Admiral Jack.
It was Colonel Nathan R. Jessup.
Really?
No.
Andy, you had hello.
Cheers, mate. You had me a hello. I know this. Oh man, what God? Oh, no. Oh, people are gonna be screaming at me, aren't they? You have me at hello. That was Aunt Beru in New Hope.
That's incorrect. Jeremy, can you get this one?
I think it's Sleepless in Seattle and Meg Ryan, but I couldn't name you the character.
No, you're both wrong.
Or You Got Mail.
It's Renée
Yeah.
Zellweger, her
Oh.
character Dorothy Boyd in Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah, see, I wouldn't have said it because it's got that fella in it.
Okay, so Jeremy, this is your question. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No, your microphone's still playing up.
Are you sure it's my question? Because I just got that one wrong.
Yeah, but it was my question.
Oh, yeah. It was passed over.
Sorry.
So,
got it.
So the question, the quote is, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I haven't got a Scooby.
Pass that over to Andy.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? These are the classics that I shouldn't even be getting wrong. This is so 80s it hurts, isn't it?
Have a guess. Just have a guess.
Passion of the Christ. It was Jim Caviezel.
No, it was the character Detective James Carter, played by Chris Tucker in Rush Hour.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah, I can hear it now.
I've never seen it.
That's a good film, mate.
Okay, Andy, your question?
Yep.
Let me tell you about my mother.
That was Blade Runner.
Correct.
And it was, yeah.
Jeremy, what's in the box?
It's 7.
Yeah.
And can you name the actor or the character's name?
Brad Pitt.
Correct. Andy, Molly, you in danger, girl.
Is it a scary movie? It's not, is it?
Is it a scary movie?
Scary movie too.
Is that your guess?
I don't know.
I'm going to pass that over to Jeremy.
Pass.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
I don't know either.
It's from Ghost, and it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh man, I love that film. Aiden probably cries when he watches it. So I've eaten jelly beans, good.
What movie was Robin Williams' first animated film?
Who's this for?
This would have been for Andy, isn't it?
Is it for me? Fern Gully.
Well done, correct answer.
You played Bartok.
Superb. Okay. Which actor voiced Moses in Prince of Egypt?
Matthew McConaughey.
No, that's not correct.
I
Andy,
haven't got a clue.
which actor in the Disney movie voiced Moses in The Prince of Egypt?
Prince of Egypt isn't Disney, is it?
It's animated.
Well, it's an animated film. Sorry.
Who voiced Moses in The Prince of Egypt? Whoopi Goldberg.
It was Val Kilmer.
Really?
Sorry, who was that question to? That was to Jeremy, wasn't it?
Jeremy, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Andy, which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series?
Most of them.
Which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series?
80s movie spawned 6 movies and TV series. It's not Halloween. Did Halloween have a TV series? I don't think it did it? That was an 80s either. That was 70 something, wasn't it? He is. You know this, Jeremy, don't you?
I have an idea.
Are you going to pass?
No, I'll sit here all night until I get this.
No, you've got limited time.
Okay, you got to give me the countdown clock.
You've got 5 seconds. I want an answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Neighbours.
Which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series?
It's possibly Nightmare on Elm Street.
You're both incorrect. It's Police Academy.
Oh man, that was that's a
Police
title.
Academy TV series. Never even heard of that.
Right, you're both on your last questions now. Okay. What artist sang the 1986 song Danger Zone from Top Gun? And this is Jeremy's question.
Kenny Loggins.
Correct. Okay, Andy, your last question. Which 1980s theme song was entirely instrumental and reached number 1 in multiple countries due to a remix?
Tubular Bells.
Incorrect. Jeremy. Which
Axel F.
1980s correct answer goes to Jeremy.
Who?
Axel F.
Oh, bloody hell.
From Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
And at the end of that little competition, Jeremy, you got 3 incorrect. Andy, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incorrect. So, Jeremy, you are the winner of this little quiz. Congratulations.
Thank
Right.
you.
All right, I'm just saying we're going to do this as a running total now for the rest of the year, and Jeremy's now in the lead. 3 against our respective 2s. I mean, I'm going to get us a trophy.
There
Whoever
was
wins
one
at the end
question.
Of the year, I'm
There
going to
was
get it
one
engraved
question
and everything.
There was one question that I was going to do, and I thought, I don't think they'll get this. But I'll just throw this one in either of you. See if you can get this one. It was a quote. Don't mess with the bull, young man.
You'll get the horns.
Get the horns.
The Breakfast Club.
Well done. Yeah. I thought that might be a little bit too easy, actually. So
It's John Hughes. I love John Hughes.
I thought you'd get that. I think, mate, it's that time. I'm desperate to hear your Room 101. Let's hit that theme tune for Room 101. So this week's Room 101 comes from Andy, and I'm so looking forward to this. And you, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, very much.
So we've both got to decide after he, he defends his case for each item to go into Room 101. And I think the first one should come now. Andy, it's over to you. What's your first thing?
So my first one is going to be Bono.
Okay, go on then.
I detest this man. No one can love Bono as much as Bono loves Bono. The man wrote a song because he forgot his wife's anniversary. Who does that? Come on. Like, there's no need, is there? And that doesn't wash. Oh, look at me. I'm so great. I wrote you a song and got Boyzone in it. No one cares. No one likes you, Bono. Stop it. And also, this kind of incorporates you two as a whole, because a man that age calling himself The Edge, like, give up. It's patronising.
I'm definitely going to say no.
Yeah, you would. He's going to say no to everything.
I'm going to say no to it because I actually like U2. I don't like everything U2 does, and I don't like everything Bono says. But I think as a frontman, he's one of the greatest frontman there's ever been for a band. He's phenomenal, and if you go and see U2 live, they are incredible live. And I'm saying no. I'm sorry, mate. Jeremy?
No, you can go straight into Room 101.
Thanks, mate.
He's just a numpty.
Thank you.
I don't get why people have a few hits and suddenly they think they're important. They're not. They're just people who can sing a song. I'm not saying that Joshua Tree is not a great album. It was quite good.
Acton
However,
Baby is an incredible album, and there's
no, it's
Unforgettable
not.
Fire. Yeah, it is.
No,
It's-
no.
No.
He's pretentious and full of himself, and no.
You've
Number,
redeemed yourself.
let's just move on because that's Andy, your
Does
second
that
one.
go in then? Does that go in?
That's
It
in.
goes
Yeah,
in,
that's
yeah,
in.
it goes
Sweet
in.
as. Brilliant. Right. So my second one is unannounced visitors. Right. Now, I know we spoke about this, Jeremy, but this hit a nerve when we spoke about this because this is, you're right. It's 2019. Do me one. You phone me before you come round, and I'm probably going to say no anyway. Right? I'm an introvert and I've got social anxiety. Who knocks on my door unannounced? I could be doing anything. I'm not going to go into what I could be doing, but I could be doing anything in my house. I could be in the middle of doing something rather important and private. I could be in the middle of just wanting to be alone. And you knock on my door and assume that I'm suddenly a gracious host to you and I'm going to let you in and make you a cup of tea.
I agree. I think as nerds, I think the worst thing that can happen is to have an unannounced visitor. I think number two, you know, you've got texting, you've got email, you've got a phone. You do those things before you go round, surely. You do that anyway. And I just think that it's rude. So I agree, mate. Go straight in there. Jeremy?
Well, nowadays, if the doorbell goes or someone knocks on the door, you think either, oh, have I ordered something, or
Yep.
who do I owe money to? So either way, it's not going to, unless you hear as you walk to the door a little beep and someone's got the little thing out for you to sign, you think, oh no, I don't want any of that. And don't even phone me. Give me a text, how are you in, and I'll ignore it, and you can
We
go
can
away.
pretend it never happened.
Yeah, yeah.
I can wait an hour and then go, oh, I'm just on my way back. Oh, sorry, it's too late now. Okay.
Yeah,
And then there's
sorry,
no,
I've just read the text. I'm sorry,
you've just
mate.
unavoided any awkwardness.
Yeah.
Because there is. I've had my mum knock on my door before and I'm like, what? What do you want?
Yeah.
Do you remember parents though? They always used to say, "Oh, in our day, we used to leave our back door open, and or the front door was always open, so neighbours could just come in." I can't think of anything
Different
worse
time.
than that. Yeah, but
Different
can't think
time,
of anything
mate.
worse than that.
No,
Imagine
no,
that.
people would murder you.
Interesting back
You're in
then.
the bath. You're in the bath, and you can hear someone downstairs go, "Hello." Oh God, who's that?
Well, I dream of days of that happening.
That's one of your DVDs, though, isn't it?
Number
I've
3,
come to
and
fix
come
your
on.
fridge. Number 3 is Apple. They're a grotesque company. They are crooks. They are vagabonds, and they are ragamuffins. They are just, it's just nasty. You walk in there and it's just corporate and it's sleazy. Everything is shiny and sleek, and the new thing is the same as the old thing, just a little bit bigger and a little bit more expensive. I've seen people, right, because I used to work at one of the biggest shopping centres in the UK. I saw people queuing up for the new iPhone 2 days before it came out. One of them didn't even have it pre-ordered on the money to buy it. He just wanted to be there. Right? That is a sort of nonsense that this company breeds, right? And their practices are disgusting. The way their company runs is disgusting. And if it's like I can plug my phone into the computer and I transfer some music to it, I drag and drop it. Oh no, on Apple, I've got to plug it into iTunes and it's going to take 45 minutes to do it, unless I have a Mac. So I'll just go spend 1,500 quid on a Mac, right? So that works. Or I could have a PC that does what I need it to do. Now, I understand Macs have their uses in certain, design aspects and video and that. I don't need one of them. General people do not need a Mac. I'm sorry, Adam, I know you're one of them. You fell down you was one of the sheep, the Apple sheep, right? But that's what you all are. You see something glossy, those little magpie eyes come out, and I need this new iPhone. It's because it's got a shiny little silver apple on the back of it. And I tell you what, it's no better than anything else out there, and you're paying more money for it.
I am going to agree with you. Now, I've had several iMacs. I'm using a MacBook Pro currently now. In my hand here is my Apple TV remote, which is so thin and so small and so fiddly that I've lost so many of these things down the back of the bed, the sofa, the drawer. I mean, they're always going to, another 2 millimeters thinner. I don't want a phone to be that thin. And secondly, it's now got glass on the back of it. So you've only got to drop it once and the thing smashes. You're right, mate. I'm
Oh, my
starting
phone, Sony, I've lobbed this down the stairs. It hit the bottom and it laughed.
to do it again. Do it
Yeah,
again.
whatever, mate. It's fine.
You know what? I do like the operating system when the operating system works. At times, it's so simple to use that you think, wow, this is fantastic. But everything else that goes with the products, I agree with you. I think their
It's good
practice
because
is
I actually agree with you
great.
there.
And I'm starting to think too about, getting a PC laptop. And the next phone that I get won't be an upgrade. It'll be a different company.
Yeah, good. Because I agree. I'm going to counter my own argument with the fact that if you've got everything Apple TV, Apple Mac, iPhone, iPad, that integration of their own firmware and software is outstanding. It's really good.
And the reason
But
why I've got those things is because they all connect up together, but you've only got to have a fault and the whole thing just
yeah,
falls apart.
their infrastructure falls down, and it's these whole airbud things as well.
Yeah,
Headphones that plug in that you need to charge, but if you lose one, you have to
that's
buy a
it.
whole set, and they're
Yeah,
ridiculous money. And it's
yeah.
everything with Apple. The bits that annoy me is how they grab people, and I'm surprised they're not at that point where people that sign up for an iPhone, they haven't got a lifelong contract in place. Because as soon as the new one comes out, we'll just send
Hmm.
it to you, and as soon as the new Mac comes out, we'll upgrade it and send it to you. And I'm sure there's people that are in positions that have that already kind of set up. As soon as it's out, they just order it. They don't even think about it. And I know that happens with a lot of brands, but it's just Apple seems to be that titan in that field that just
They're
to
losing
me,
me. They lost me again. They lost me when they changed the got rid of the headphone jack and they've gone to Lightning port. And I can't charge my phone and put a pair of headphones in at the same time, which actually, I would be doing my podcast now using Skype on my phone, and having headphones in and charging at the same time, but I can't. That that is just ridiculous, and they lost me there. Jeremy, what do you think of this room
Well,
one item?
I'm a technological moron, and I don't really know what any of you just said, so I'm just going to agree.
I've got him on a
Because
technicality.
yeah, I mean, I've got a friend who does web design, and he swears by Apple.
Yeah,
So just the fact that my friend Kevin would want me to stop them going in room 101, I'll put it in there
thank
just
you.
for just out of spite more than anything
Yeah,
else.
free for free here. I'm batting well, aren't
Yeah,
I?
well done, mate. I've
Good
got to say
stuff.
though, when you got all this stuff and it's all brand new, like you got a new MacBook and it's lovely with the brush steel, where it's called, excuse me, and all your stuff's there. It looks really nice, but you get one scratch on it and you're like, it's ruined. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it's all
I
aesthetic.
I went from a Nokia to an iPhone 4. So to me, it was like, oh, what's this magic? Um, so I'm way behind everyone else. Anyway, I walked past the Apple store today, and people queuing to get in, and that's enough to put it in room 101.
I
Because
think what's
there's no
quite
shop
protect.
in the world
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to queue to get in ever,
I
apart
think
from if they sell pies.
it's impossible to have a shop full of geniuses, and they seem to claim that they do have. Number four, Jeremy, Andy, for your list is from your list is what?
Um, people who are happy in the morning. Right, because no, I'm not averse to someone being polite and pleasant. There's a difference, right? Now, I get up early every day, as you know, and I have to go to a supplier run before I even get into my yard. And I get to the yard, and there's the guy I work with, Jay. Now, I love Jay to bits, right? Me and him get on like a house on fire, and he's a lovely guy. But I walk in the morning, and I ain't ready until I can taste that coffee. Like I've had a fag and I've had a coffee and I've got my head together. Give me 5, 10 minutes. I walk in every morning. Morning, Andy. How you doing, mate? And I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in your throat. Like, why are you so chipper at 6:30 in the morning? There is no need, is there?
Well, I will. I don't know really because once I've had a cup of tea, I'm not normally too bad. Um, Again, I'm going to have to pull the child card. My children are always chipper in the morning. They always wake up and, oh, daddy, and they want to, actually, no, put them in there because then
Yeah,
they want to do
how
stuff.
annoying is that? Exactly,
Yeah,
that's my
they want
point.
to do stuff.
My
And I
daughter
just
does
want to,
it.
I want to watch the news, BBC News. I'll stick the red button on, find out what's happening in the world, find out how boring Brexit is and what weird things Trump's done. Then drink my tea. Then I can talk to people and be happy. So,
Thank you.
for
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Give me some time before you do that.
so when you say the morning, are we talking before 12 or is there a time limit?
I'm talking within an hour to an hour and a half of you being awake.
Honestly, an hour and a half, I'm normally all right.
But that's what I'm saying. You've got to give that time.
I can have a conversation after about an hour, usually.
I can have a conversation. You just don't have to be too happy about it. You don't have to be in my face and stupidly yell, you're going to be happy all the time, aren't you, Adam?
Not necessarily, but I do like a happy person in the morning as opposed to a grumpy one. That's going to change my view on it.
See, I think
Jeremy,
I
I
would
think this is
like
down to
people
you. I
to be
think
happy. I think I would like people to be happy first thing in the morning. If more people were happy, then
Yeah.
I would be more
think of the
cheerful. So
journey to
no.
work. If everybody was happy in the morning, that there'd be morning, hello, and there'd be no road rage or it would be
I
joy,
would say
wouldn't it?
no because I wish I was happier in the morning.
Okay, well,
So no,
it
it's
doesn't
not going
it
to
doesn't
ruin
matter, does
101.
it? Because it goes in there.
No,
Oh,
it's not going to ruin 101 for me.
yeah, okay. I don't think it should go in either.
So no.
Whatever, cretins. I'm going to put a sad face next to that one.
Number
I'm
5.
getting into emojis here. Hang on. Number 5, I'm going to put in whoever decrees that because I am wide, I am also tall. Alright? Now, Jeremy's quite tall, so I don't know if he has this problem, but we are heavier set gentlemen, right? And wherever I buy my jeans, for some reason, because of the size waist that I need to buy, they assume that my legs are proportionate to that, right? And they are not. I am short and I am fat, and I am who I am, and I'm okay with that, okay? But why is it, wherever I go, there should be free Wonderweb with every purchase of men's bigger jeans, right? Because, or skinny, you might be skinny and short. I don't know how that works the other way around. I've never thought about it until now. But skinny and tall, maybe, skinny and short, I don't know. But yeah, it's just a nightmare. I literally have 3 pairs of my work trousers, and each one of them has these kind of nice little grips at the back that now hold my trainers in place, right? Every pair of jeans I has frayed edges around the bottom at the back because they're just slightly too long. And people say, well, put them up to your hips. And I'm like, unless I want to look like one of those 60-year-old men that have the big, I think gunt's okay to say here, that big bulgy bit where they've pulled their jeans up to literally their waist, but they've got a belly. It looks stupid. I ain't Tweedledee, right? And that needs to just be sat around the hip area because I have a belly, right? And that's fine. I'm comfortable in who I am, but why can't clothes manufacturers work that out?
I'm gonna agree to this 100% for 2 reasons. Number 1, I feel very sorry for you, and number 2, you're right. It's not at all thought out in a rational way. So I agree completely. That can go in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, I'm going to put it in because, for a start, I'm a 6-foot man with tiny legs. So
Exactly.
all of my jeans.
How is
have
that
bit.
possible? How can you be 6 foot with tiny legs?
Because everybody's different.
Well, I've got that bit at the back. You know, your jeans or whatever trousers you wear. You've got
Yeah.
the hem at the bottom. The back of the hem of all those is worn away, where it's caught underneath my trainers. But equally,
Where do you guys go shopping? That's what I don't know.
I am a 20-stone man, and buying clothes to fit is impossible because if you buy a suit, they think if you've got a 50-odd inch chest, your waist is also 50-odd inches.
Yes, this is my point.
It doesn't work like that. We're
No.
all individual, we're all different. And
I know that a lot of women have this problem in shops when they sell like bikini sets.
Yeah.
you know, because you're wide waist, you're a large breast, and that's not necessarily the case, and vice versa. And I know people have had to buy 2 different bikinis
Yeah.
to get what they need, and you know, it's an ongoing problem. And the thing is, Adam, I just heard you say, where do we shop? We don't have the luxury of going into Kids Gap. Okay.
No, you don't.
Right, we can't buy an extra skinny shirt and pull it off. It doesn't work.
Trying to buy a 4XL shirt
Yeah.
isn't easy. I can't shop in. I got Blue Water. I don't even go in the clothes shops.
Asda.
Because,
now we're talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I always think that an L, which is supposed to be large, is little. Who is large with a 40-inch chest? Don't be daft.
Yeah, no, I
So,
agree. I think
all of these people, they can all go in room 101.
Yeah, good. Right.
That's
Okay.
definitely in. Number 6.
Oh, right. Okay. Ready Player One movie.
Right, should we just move on because that ain't going in?
That's definitely not going in, I'm
I knew
afraid.
they weren't going in. I shouldn't have used that one.
Fight your corner. Go and tell us why.
Well, yeah, I think you should, but it's not going in.
No, I'm not going to bother.
No, go and fight your corner. Because I might agree, because I could be on the fence. So go for it.
Right. Okay. Right. From my point of view, Ready Player One. Right. So this is from my point of view. I read the book a long time before the film came out. I have several copies of this book. One stays in my van at all times. So I always have a copy with me. I think if I have a breakdown, if I ever get stuck in a blizzard and I get stuck in the van, I've got entertainment and I've got something that I love. I have a copy of Ready Player One in my bedside table and I take it to every hotel that I go to. Okay? And I have a copy of Ready Player One on my bookshelf. I've got the audio book, which I listen to. I don't know how many times I've read and listened to this book now. It's ridiculous. It's more than anything I've ever read before. And I love it. It's probably my favourite book ever written. It's not a masterpiece of writing. It's not Harry Potter. It's not Lord of the Rings, but it's my favourite book ever written. With subject material, the story, I love it. When I heard about the film, I was pumped. And I thought, then I started having my misgivings with it, thinking, how are they going to incorporate all of these licenses into this movie? And then you start to think about, there's the quests in the book are so elaborate, and you think this isn't going to actually transpire well to film, because a lot of it is him in a monologuing, a lot of Wade researching, a lot of grinding. There's a lot of pop references that I think were too much of a deep dive for the general public. I don't think people would get the Lich King, wouldn't get the Joust Cabinet, wouldn't get the D&D references necessarily on a wider scale for bums on seats. And then you start hearing about Spielberg's making it, but he's not going to allow a lot of his properties into it, which is, I think, quite disrespectful to Ernest Cline, because Ernest Cline wrote basically a love letter to Steven Spielberg's era of filmmaking. And for Ernest Cline to have Steven Spielberg pick his film up, that's amazing. This is the guy that he's written this love letter to. And then Steven Spielberg has basically turned around and went, yeah, but you can't use this. And I think that's a little bit underhanded. And they just changed what was an intricate, clever, well-written story into a popcorn action flick with a race as one of the quests. And that was the first scene in a movie where I've ever sat there with the person I'm with. It was Charlie. And we looked at each other as if to say, shall we go? Because they took what was, it's a shadow of what it could be. And that is my problem with it. It's such a deeper dive for people like us. There are so many things that if you've read that book, you will know, love, and remember. And they modernized it and made it very contemporary. And that wasn't right. That it reeks of commercialism, that movie. Which is ironic because the film's based on so many commercial products, but they're old school. They are for a fan base, and they tried to approach someone else by putting things like Minecraft and that in there.
Well said, mate. But it's still not going in. Yeah, well said, mate. I mean,
You're
I
allowed
think
to be wrong, Adam. So
I
that's
agree.
fine.
I agree with you. I think that you'll get a lot more out of the story itself by reading the book. It's a
And
real deep dive, but
I would like
I,
to counter this as well. I watched it again, putting it into context in my head. Let's just enjoy this as a movie, and I still couldn't. It's not that I gave it the one chance and went, "This is wrong." I watched it again and thought, "Let's just pretend this is something else, and can I enjoy it as two different beasts, like I do the Harry Potter films?" And I couldn't do it.
shame. Number 7.
No, can I interject here?
Yeah.
Because
I'm
he
going
hasn't
to
said
say
yes or no
no.
yet. Oh,
I'm going to say no, but my account, I didn't read the book. I didn't have the book read to me because I've got the audio book until I heard the movie was coming out, and I had Will Wheaton read the book to me very nicely, and I loved it. It's an amazing book, and I watched the movie, and I was underwhelmed with it. It wasn't brilliant, but I enjoyed it. However, if more people read the book because they've seen the movie, then that can't be anything but a good thing. So
yes.
I think the
But
book,
also with the movie, it's going to influence the sequel book that was planned to be written before this came out, and that annoys me too because that book won't be
yeah, but
pure sequel now.
if you've ever read the sequel to Jurassic Park, that just went, oh, everyone said he died, but he didn't. You can't worry about that. You're looking at an entity in itself, and I think that movie will make more people read the book, and then people will go, actually, the book is a lot better. So I think the movie will take more people to the book, and therefore it's a good thing. You must admit, more people reading the book would be good.
I think as a nerd, you should have Ready Player One on your shelf anyway. It's just a must-have.
Again, the book is way better than the movie. The movie is not a great movie. However, I think that it will bring more people to read the book, and therefore you need it.
Number 7,
Mm-hmm.
Andy, on your list
People that
is
listen to Retro Inc. because they should be listening to another podcast because two of the hosts are stupid.
Yeah, but you two are all right. But people will get behind you. Don't worry.
Right, okay. Automated phone lines. Now, now I know you're going to think that I'm going to go down the route of, you phone up this number and you want to talk to customer service, right? Because you've got a problem wrong with something, okay? And you've got an account with them, and this is the one that gets me more, right? So you've got an account, so you phone them up and they go, can you enter your postcode? And you're like, the DA, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, okay, are you phoning customer service? And obviously you've got the yes, and you have to say it 15 times before it registers. Can you tell me what this is about? Complaint. Okay, brilliant. And this takes 5 to 10 minutes to get through. And then you get through to this phone, and you get, hello, this is Steve. How can I help? Well, I've just spent 10 minutes telling you what the problem is. Like, I've just done all of this for what? Because you haven't put me through to a department. I think it's a stalling tactic. And they go, right, can I take your account number? I've just done that. I've just done all of these things over the last 10 minutes. And then they were, so what's the problem? And you're like, I want to make a complaint. I'm just going to pass you through. What was that whole
all
thing
that
I went
stuff
through?
beforehand. Oh, this
Yeah.
has got to go in room 101. It's just irrational and ridiculous, and it's a complete waste of time. It serves no purpose. Why just put someone at the end of the telephone to answer the phone? And often when you get through, there's at least you can hear there's about 60 people in a room anyway. So
Yeah.
why not just have 60 people answer the phone?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And the other thing is that I just think it is a tactic to get a lot of people to just hang up.
Yeah, it is.
It's,
You're
you've
right.
got a small gripe and think, I'm going to make a complaint. I can't be bothered with that. And it never
Oh,
happens.
Jeremy, you got to agree with this. This is absolutely why the good old days was much better.
I think basically anything involving talk phone is horrible anyway. So I'm quite happy to put anything involving
Okay.
Yeah.
conversations with people on the phone can go straight in there. I mean, I've recently done my tax because I'm a good boy. The HMRC have a great thing where you just go, my voice is my password, and it just puts you straight in. But then you have to then go, oh, can I speak to this department? They go, oh, hang on then, and then you've got that rubbishy music, and you're waiting 10 minutes, and then 9 times out of 10 they just cut you off. So yeah, stick them straight in
That
there.
happens too. That does happen too. Yeah, it
Mhm.
does. Number 8, Andy, on your list.
Skinny
go.
jeans.
Yeah.
No, more specifically, men who wear skinny jeans, right? And then wear something like those nice brown boat shoes, which probably Adam has both of.
I
Yeah.
don't have those nice boat shoes.
But you
No.
know what I mean, right? They don't have socks on, and they're wearing the skinny jeans.
That
Right?
right.
And then they go and shove their iPhone in their back pocket, which makes them look like they've got like a colostomy bag attached to them or something.
I bet they're wearing a scarf as well.
Probably, or they're wearing like
And a
one of those.
t-shirt that
No, one of
shows
those.
their chest cleavage.
Yeah, a flowy like V-neck t-shirt, one of the flowy ones that's like from All Saints or something, somewhere Adam's shop, right? And they ponce around with their man buns, but it's to be honest with you, the rest of it I can deal with. It's the skinny jeans because they look weird. They've got these kind of like these man-shaped
They've got
top
rickets.
halves, and then the bottom half looks like someone squeezed toothpaste from the middle of the tube. Right? And it's just ridiculous, especially with the shoes, like brown shoes or something with no socks. Who wears shoes without socks? Can you imagine that feeling on your feet?
No, but they wear them fake socks that you can't see. They're even worse.
How many pairs of them have you got, Adam?
A couple. That's because I like
stick you in room 101 of this, right?
Yeah, mate. Listen, that image you gave me is that does make me laugh because I do see a lot of guys wearing those. Now, there's skinny and there's super skinny, and the super skinny ones are where they're walking around looking like they've got rickets or bow legs. They're just too tight, and then they've got, like you say, slip-on shoes. That t-shirt that's got such a massive neck that V-necks down for their man buns and everything else. I wear skinny jeans. But I think I'm going to allow you to put them in because of the picture that you've painted there.
I think there's probably like a statistic about increased bunk bed sales or ladders alongside skinny jeans.
Look,
and they have to climb up them and jump.
Here's another reason why
them.
I think they should go in, right? So you go to a club, you got your best skinny jeans on, you meet the girl of your dreams, and she says, "Am I coming home with you, or are you coming home with me?"
We know what Jeremy does,
right? Then you get back, and half an hour later, still trying to get the jeans off. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Yep. They're just too tight. So,
to be honest with you, I'm surprised of any girl that picks up a man wearing skinny jeans in the club because, I mean, it's either one or two ways, isn't it? You can see why she wants to take him home, and you can see why she won't bother. So,
the thing about skinny jeans, I come from obviously a bodybuilding background where you've got big legs. And I kind of think that if you got to buy jeans that are skinny, you got to skinny. Most jeans are skinny on my bleeding legs anyway.
I reckon if Jeremy wore a pair of skinny jeans, it'd look like when you get like Serrano hams still tied, hanging in a butcher's.
Yeah, just skinny jeans are an abomination. If your jeans are tight, it's because you've got proper sized legs. If you have to buy jeans that are skinny, then you're just skinny, and no.
They're
awful.
Next weekend. Imagine? I'm wearing my skinny jeans, but you'll be.
We will mock you.
But they're not the type someone wearing you're talking about. They're not the type you're talking about. So
someone wearing skinny jeans and then a girdle, their chest and above would just be like huge. It'd be like a mushroom. You just push all that blood and everything upwards to this.
I can't knock the low cut neck thing because most t-shirts I have to cut the neck out of anyway because I've got a monstrous neck. But skinny jeans are just no.
Right.
They're in.
Right. So is this number
9?
Number 9. People who don't invite kids to weddings. Right?
What? Yeah.
Because right. Especially when you know them well. Right? Now I've been in positions with this and I ain't afraid to admit this and shout out on a podcast, right? But so they have a wedding and they invite, family member or kids ain't invited, right? Or friends and kids ain't invited. The whole point of a wedding is two people joining together to start a family. Whether or not kids are involved in said family, you are starting a family off together, all right? Because family is people you live together and you share your life with, right? And if I am part of that family and I have children, or if I know these people and I have children, they know what they've got into with my friendship or my family. They know that they are part of me. And if they invited me to a wedding and my daughter wasn't involved, they can have a lovely day without me there.
Yes.
Thank you.
My cousin recently got married, and the invite said no children. And I just thought, no, because children make a wedding. You want kids dancing around to the... Well, I want to point, the Birdie song is a wedding classic. And that's why it's not in Room 101, because everyone wants to see kids dance at a wedding. Dance with the nanas and stuff like that. Kids make a wedding.
Now, I understand if they say no kids at the ceremony. If they want to have that as a stipulation, then I'm kind of okay with that, because I have been to weddings and there's been babies and they've been crying, and I kind of think that would be really off-putting for your day. Like, I mean, I never went for all of that because I got married in Vegas. But I just think if you was having a wedding and there was kids crying or kids playing up, it could be embarrassing for the parents. It could be embarrassing for them getting married or whatever. But in the evening part, and you're having your function, just have fun. Yeah. Marriage is about families, and like kids are a big part of that.
See, my daughter, we went to 3 weddings in a year. All friends of mine got married, and my daughter was 18 months old or whatever it was. And every single wedding, where the bit where they went, oh, anyone can think of a reason whether or not to get married, she started going, Daddy, and everyone's like, oh my God. And it was great fun. Everyone loved it. It was brilliant, because everyone suddenly thought, oh my God, someone's going to say no. So cool people who say children go to a wedding are in Room 101. They're monsters. They're monsters.
All right, thank you.
I completely concur. Look, you've got to have kids at weddings. I mean, I can understand kids not going to funerals. I think that possibly could be the way. But look, as you say, if you're going to get married, you're bound to have a family, and to exclude children at your wedding, it's just ridiculous. It's definitely going in. Room 101. And your final number 10.
I've got to choose it because I had 19 altogether.
Already.
Okay, I'm going to go for this one.
All right.
Crisps in meal deals.
Crisps in meal deals?
Crisps in meal deals. I live on meal deals. I drive, and wherever I go, I'm not buying hot food every day because I don't want to eat like fast food, right? So I eat a lot of meal deals. Crisp, sandwich, drink, right? One of my other choices on the list was potatoes, because I can't stand potatoes. I hate them, right? They are little starchy balls of disgustingness, right? There's nothing good you can do with a potato. Even roasting it, don't care. Throw me extra broccoli on my plate, right? Now, crisps in meal deals, what is it? Especially Sainsbury's. Now, I'm going to call them out for this on here, right? Because Morrison's, they do the best meal deal. I'm going to do the meal deal podcast soon because I know a lot about them, right? And this is good value, Morrison's. I give them credit where credit's due. But Sainsbury's, I literally have a choice of a drink, a sandwich, and crisps. I don't like crisps. I don't want to waste my money on that. Why can't I choose a little flapjack? Or a little nut bar? Why can't I have a little bit of saurine? Right?
Because you can't eat a little bit of saurine. You have to eat a whole loaf.
Yeah, just because you're literally about an hour ago. No, that's why I'm big, because I ate a whole saurine, not him. But no, I just think it's one of those, like, it kind of like, it restricts my choices. I don't like crisps. They're disgusting. And I think it's quite an unhealthy option. I'm saying here, I know flapjacks ain't healthy, but I wouldn't mind even like a little bag of dried fruit and some nuts.
A little bag of carrot sticks.
I know that can when I ate carrot sticks.
I'm going to instantly say no, because I've never met anyone else who doesn't like crisps.
Yeah, I have as well.
For that matter.
That's definitely not going in there,
crisps, mate. I mean, if you're having a sandwich, you put your crisps in the sandwich. It makes
on the side.
The sandwich.
It makes a meal deal, doesn't it? It makes a meal.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I've got a lovely tuna and sweet corn sandwich. I don't want to put crisps in it.
You've got a nice ploughman's sandwich, a nice ploughman's roll. You put it on a plate, and there's some crisps on the side.
But also, how do you not like potatoes, you freak?
I don't like potatoes.
What about a pint of lager and a packet of crisps?
Me and Jeremy are kind of spirit men, really.
What?
Yeah.
So I don't do beer.
However, a bottle of vodka and a tube of Pringles, they go lovely.
I know Pringles are
Fries
something
cocktail.
different.
Fries?
Pringles
They're not.
are 90% MSG. All
You
right.
eat fries though, don't you?
And
You
aren't
don't
they
have,
lovely?
you have fries.
Right. Now, chip wise, now I don't really like McDonald's, but I really like McDonald's fries. Okay. I don't mind what we call beach chips, like say fish and chip shop chips, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind them to a degree, but that's more of a time thing. If I'm sitting by this beach and I've got a little cone of chips, salt and vinegar on it, that's not too bad. But as a general rule, that is pretty much the only potato I really like.
That style of it.
Chips, proper British chips, not the stupid American chips, whatever they're going to call that. Right? They're different language over there.
French fries.
Well, you've just mentioned chips in a cone. Now that's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Where all that vinegar and salt drifts down. The ones right at the bottom are always,
However, crisps in the meal deal can't go in room 101.
I don't think it can. No.
Because everybody else but you liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
It's definitely not going in.
You can't. I mean, crisps in a sandwich.
Oh, Smith Square crisps, Monster Munch.
Pickled onion Monster Munch. Oh, they're good.
Yeah, McCoy's. Nice packet of McCoy's.
Yeah. Square crisp, cheese, onion flavour.
Do you count Doritos? Well, they're not potato, are they? Actually,
they're tortillas. I prefer if I have nachos. If I have nachos and that, I'm fine with that. They're nice and they're covered in cheese with guacamole and sour cream and that's different. Same as a Pringle. There is something fundamentally different about a Pringle. I think it is because they are so covered in MSG. It's ridiculous. It's the crack of the crisp world. No, it's not. I mean, even if I didn't like them, you eat one and you cannot stop until you seek rehab. So, Pringles is different. But aside from that, no, man.
Even the classic ready salted is
ready salted, yeah.
No.
Ready salted is in your sandwich.
And I can honestly tell you now, we're into the start of February of this year, and I haven't even picked up a packet of crisps. No, it's not something I do. Sometimes I bought them in a meal deal just because it's cheaper, and then I just throw them in the bin.
Oh, next time, save them up.
Save those.
I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you. Or I keep them in my van until I get to the yard and I throw them at someone just because it's fun.
Well, Andy, you got 7 out of 10 in your room 101, which
not a bad run.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad run. Now I know you had a couple of spares there, so just reel off the quick ones
quickly. Attention seekers on Facebook. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I hate my life. What's up? Message me, babe. No, do one.
I would have gone in.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yep, definitely.
That's a Marmite show, isn't it?
My Cat's Blacker.
My Cat's Blacker?
I've had a mare today. This happened. Oh, yeah, tell me about it. This happened.
Yeah.
I see. What are those? Yeah.
Everything you say.
I've got a headache. I've had a headache all day.
Yeah.
I've got migraine. I've got brain tumour.
Yeah, My Cat's Blacker, we call that at work. Me and my mate who I work with sometimes look at each other and go, My Cat's Blacker. When another person kicks off saying things, it's one of them. Inconsiderate parking. Now, the reason for this is you two are going to become understanding of why this bothers me next weekend.
It bothers me as well.
You will both become.
I will text you. I will text you before I arrive to say, where's the best place to park, Andy?
I will give you the postcode of the best place to park.
Thank you, please do.
And I'll come and meet you.
I'm very considerate parking.
My dad was disabled, and there was nothing worse than driving around all these disabled places and seeing a load of people without badges and going,
Well, my other thing is
parent parking. Parent and family parking where clearly there's a single guy parks his BMW in a parents and kiddie
I saw a motorbiking one in Asda near me the other day. Like, really? But no, you'll see about the parking thing because especially where I live on a small road which only has one side of the road parking and there's houses both sides, right? So, and a lot of people around my way have a vehicle and also a works vehicle like a van or something like that. So it's very congested around here. And a lot of us try our best to be considerate and park in certain places all the time, but you get your one or two that won't pull up to the nearest car in front of them, which will take up 2 or 3 spaces, Lots of people down my road have drop curbs, so you can't park in front of there. And then there's this gentleman that lives over the road to me who believes that Mumford Drive is actually his road and he is Mr. Mumford, because he came out one day and got rather aggressive that I had parked my van on his road and not on mine, to which I stipulated his name was not Mr. Mumford and I paid my road tax like everyone else, and that if he looked down my road, there was nowhere to park. So,
What about your sons?
Can we all
exactly.
park outside his house?
You can, but he did try to run me over once with his Ford Focus, so I'd probably best not to, because he's a bit of
He
a
would
nut.
just damage his Ford Focus if he tried that
Someone
with
called
me.
Mumford would have a Ford, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. Right, so anyway, we're going to get over that because my neighbour's a douchebag. People who mock others when they say a big word wrong, right? And the reason for this is because I read this quote once. I can't remember where it was from, so forgive the source. And I loved it. But when somebody says a big word wrong, it's probably because they read it in a book,
Mm.
right? And they don't know how to actually pronounce that, which probably shows a high level of intelligence of the person that's taking the pee out of them.
Yeah.
My wife for years didn't know that Hermione was pronounced Hermione. She called her Hermione. And why
Yeah.
is that? Because she read 7 Harry Potter books, not because she knew the name Hermione and pronounced it wrong. And I can't remember, there was a time where I said a word wrong that was from a book that I read. I got
I
it in the right
always
context.
hyperbole wrong. Always got hyperbole
Hyperbole.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
glad.
one. That's actually my favourite word.
And then I heard people say it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I never said that out loud."
Yeah,
In my
but
head, when I read it, it was different.
that's why, because you read the word hyperbole. And
Yeah.
hyperbole is my favourite word, not only because it's a very good word to use, hyperbolic, hyperbole, I think it's a great word, but because it's an intelligent word to use. And you read
Hmm.
it somewhere, but someone to take the mick out of you for saying it wrong, I think, nah. So,
I couldn't get the word spectacle out earlier. I don't know if you noticed that. I was really stumbling over that word.
spectacle.
Yeah,
I just couldn't
but
get,
that's
couldn't
not a
spit it
long
out.
word. So,
There we are.
um,
What
this
else
one,
you got?
Jeremy will probably like this one. Clothes that shrink after one wash. You go
Oh,
in, you
yeah.
buy this lovely t-shirt, and as big guys, we have to get a certain size. And you get it and you go, that feels really good. I like that. And you wear it for the day, and you're like, yeah, I like that. And you wash it, and you get it out, and you look like something out of Bill and Ted. Right? And it's like right up above your belly button. Your gut's hanging out. Your shoulders don't fit anymore, and it's all you're sitting there pulling at your shirt like this before you can walk around in it, and it never feels right again.
Yeah, see, I get it. I've got obviously short, tiny legs, massively long torso. So anything that shrinks remotely in the body suddenly just doesn't fit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and it feels
oh,
uncomfortable.
really?
This
Yeah.
t-shirt I'm wearing now, I really like this t-shirt. It's my Marvel one. It's got all the different characters on it, right? And this fit lovely. I've washed it, and obviously loads now, but the first couple of washes, and that was it. It just started to feel wrong. It didn't fit the same way it did before.
you
Maybe
need
that
to
was the
dry
whole
it flat.
sorry that I ate.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
No, I'm wearing a Star Wars marquee at the moment. It's the only way I can get one to actually like fit.
Yeah,
You want a cool
exactly.
wash and dry it flat, and you'll be fine.
No,
My
no,
my washing machine's always cool. I stick Bob Marley on while it's doing it. So
we just buy cheap shirts. That's probably what it is.
yeah, it probably is that. But that's what why, man. Like it's the same fabric,
Because they're
made in
the
the
only
same
things that
factories.
fit us.
Yeah,
We have
true.
to buy cheap
Okay.
shirts because we can't go to Walgreens.
If the retro ink fails, we're starting up a clothing line. Right. T Public t-shirts are available. Estimated time left.
What?
Estimated time left. All right. Now I'm in the process of my laptop of deleting stuff, transferring stuff, and reinstalling everything, so it's nice and clean and fresh and retro ink ready, right? And I've got this little hard drive, and I'll plug it in, and I
Oh,
moved
bless.
over a film, and does the job, mate. It's got 1 terabyte of hard drive. But I like moved over one film that was like a gig and a half, and it took 30 seconds, 40 seconds, something like that. I chose 3 of the films. I put it in. It said estimated time left 25 minutes. Right? And it didn't take 25 minutes. It took a couple of minutes. Right? And then you go and move the whole lot of something over that's like 50 gig, and it's like estimated time 17 years. Right? Just get rid of estimated time. Um,
I've never encountered that because that's all technical.
It is technical for you, isn't it?
For
My
me,
last,
I'll put a DVD
oh,
in
no,
and I'll wait for that to start.
my next one is voicemail notifications. Right now, first of all, it's 2019. Who calls anyone? Do you call anyone apart from customers and clients? And
No,
and
but
obviously your
I get
kids.
voicemail from clients. I'm not allowed to call my kids because their mum's there.
Right.
She's not evil stepmum.
But no, I'm just sort of like it's just the notifications, right? So I get a lot of customer calls, right, on my works phone, and I get this notification come up, and I call them back. I don't need to listen to the message because it was literally 2 seconds ago, and I call them back, and I always prefer talking to them rather than the message because I sell stuff and I can get more out of them. I call them back. I've spoken to them. My day carries on. But that notification sits there until I phone up the voicemail thing, listen to that voice, that automated voice say to me, "You have one new message. Message one sent today
Right.
at 12:52 8." And it just like can delete, and I can't. I have to listen to it.
I have an iPhone and I can delete them without listening to them.
I have an iPhone, but since the new update, they got rid of that feature on there.
I haven't updated mine, obviously.
But it is. But even on my phone, nobody ever calls me. It's 2019. Text me. My dad does it all the time. He phones me. Can't get through. He'll leave me a voicemail. Dad, just text me. You text me off. You phone me off of your mobile phone. Don't worry. Call you back later. Wicked. That's all I need to know. Delete. I hate voicemail. I think it should be banned. I want to go back to the old days with no mobile phones.
I'm all right with that.
And the thing is, as well, if I haven't picked up, sometimes it's probably because I don't want to talk to you. And leaving me a voicemail is the opposite of what I wanted. Because I didn't want to hear your voice. And there was one more. And that was Star Wars.
What?
Because I'm on the assumption if we can't have something nice, then we can't have it at all. All right? People can't play nice with it. And people can't be good. And people can't enjoy it for what it is, a movie about wizards in space. Then stop having it. And I think this world would be a lot better without it.
I think you need to have a broader spectrum there and say toxic fan bases rather than Star Wars. Get rid of the toxic fans, not just of Star Wars.
Name me other fan bases that are as toxic.
Doctor
Yeah,
Who.
but they're a weird
got
little
a girl.
bunch.
Oh, look, when Daniel
It's
Craig
nowhere
was
near as bad.
going to be.
Nowhere near as bad, and I agree.
I'm not as immersed as I am. But when Daniel Craig was going to be James Bond, they started that Craig not Bond rubbish.
Yeah, but nowhere near the same.
Did Jodie Whittaker and did Daniel Craig have to leave Twitter because of abuse from people that were calling themselves fans?
No, but they've have to leave because they didn't like an In-Betweeners special. So it's not just that. I mean, In-Betweeners fans turned on the In-Betweeners or Will Poulter because they didn't like him in
Bandersnatch.
I mean, get a grip, get a life, and if you don't like something, shut up and stop watching it.
Well, I didn't want to put toxic fan base in there. I just wanted to say Star Wars because honestly, I love Star Wars, but I think sometimes if you can't have something nice, you can't have it at all. If people can't look after it, it's like a favourite toy. If they can't look after it and be good with it, then I think we should take it away from them.
Yeah, but if we had no Star Wars, I wouldn't be wearing the shirt, and then I'd be stripped to the waist, and nobody wants to see that.
It'd be a whole different kind of video cast. It wouldn't be a podcast at all. You'd hear that money notification keep ringing in the background.
I mean this one. But no one needs to see that. So for that reason alone, no.
Great, guys. It's been a fantastic show. I hope you enjoyed listening to this week's podcast with our quizzes and Andy's fantastic Room 101. You've been listening to a Retroint podcast production, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Join us for more on the Commonwealth at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. This has been a Retroint podcast production, as I say, and you can go to our website retroinkpodcast.co.uk. You can join us on Twitter, Instagram, the Retroink Facebook page, and the Retroink YouTube channel. Alternatively, you can find us on many other podcasts at starwarscommonwealth.com. Podcasts such as Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, The Nerd Room, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron, San Diego Sabres Radio Podcast, and the Sandcrawler Podcast, along with the Tatooine Suns. Please like our Retro Inc. Facebook page and come and join in the fun on our Retro Inc. podcast Facebook group. Thanks for joining us this week, and please share with your friends. Fellas, I'm looking forward to seeing you both next weekend when we have a little meet up. We're going to do some recording. We're going to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be posting quite a lot of stuff on the pages. We're going to be recording some little bits and pieces for future shows. I'm so looking forward to it, guys. I really
Might do a
am.
live show, yeah? Like we could do a Facebook Live or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be really
Facebook.
it's going to be great fun. I'm so looking forward to it. It's been a great evening. Thanks ever so much, guys.
It's all right. Thanks for coming.
And will we be seeing you?
Did you just say that?
That was your cue.
No, you
later,
said it though.
I'll do later. There you go. Later.
You said
Jeremy,
we'll be seeing you.
will we be seeing you?
You can't set me up like that. That's not fair. You two are ruining this for me. I was making it a catchphrase.
So it's a goodbye from me.
I said later.
It's a
You
goodbye
should be
from
seeing
me.
you last week.
It's a goodbye from Jeremy.
Yeah, I know, but that was last week, and we've had a week to go over it.
It's just sabotage.
It's a
I'm not
goodbye
over it.
from Jeremy.
You got a week. I have to edit the thing.
It's a goodbye from
Well,
Jeremy.
you can probably edit that out, can't you?
It's a goodbye from Jeremy.
Oh, goodbye from Jeremy.
And it's a goodbye from Andy.
Hello.
Thanks for listening.